Angeles.
Hi YouTube, on today's video we are going to be installing the headlamp modulator on my Kawasaki Concours 14, and this one I've got is the one by Signal Dynamics. It's their back off range, and because of course the Concours has twin headlamps, I need the twin harness, the dual harness, so I had to order the harness and the actual modulator itself. So this is from Signal Dynamics. It's the plug and play headlamp modulator. It obviously is very easy to install. By the looks of it, it's just a simple connection, and these are keyed actually, so they'll only go in one way. So that plugs on to the existing harness, and each one of those plugs onto the lights. And it also has a sensor for daylight. When it gets too dark, it turns off the modulation. So this needs to be installed underneath the fairing, I believe, but we'll get to that in a second. And a sticky pad which I've put on the back. I'm not quite sure whether I'm going to put that yet, or whether I'll just use tie wraps or zip ties to secure it somewhere inside the fairing. Also, because I'm going to have the grommets off the back of the headlamp and the wiring harness, I'm going to install some new headlamps as well, some new bulbs. It's I don't know how old the original ones are. I've had the bike nearly a year. One of the high beams has failed, so I'm going to put some new bulbs in as well. These are just the Philips standard ones. Okay, over at the bike, and as you can see, it's very sunny out here. It's actually the 5th of November here in California, so it's bonfire night back home, but it's 75 degrees out here, so I don't know whether you can see in there, I don't know whether there's enough light, but I've already pulled the grommets off. I'm now going to have to unclip the backs of the bulb. It's just like a headlamp on a car, same thing. You just squeeze the metal parts together and it springs off. Put the new bulb in. But it's guaranteed to take all your skin off your knuckles. There's absolutely no space in here at all. I'm sure if I took some of the panels off it would be easier, but I'm not going to be doing that. I'm going to struggle. Here are the rubber waterproof grommets on the back of the light casing, and I've just realised I'm going to have to, because I want to put these on. I mean, not that it rains much here in California, but I do want to put them back on, but of course I'm going to have to try and get that through there. And this is quite stiff rubber, so I could either try and heat it up, or I could try and push like Billy O and see if that works. Oh, blimey, that is tight rubber. But as you can see, I managed to get the connectors through the two grommets. I have pulled off the original headlamp connector off the back of the bulbs. I've put the new bulbs in and secured them in place with the spring clip. So it's now a case of just plugging these onto the headlamps and plugging this connector here onto the left hand side socket. It does stipulate the left hand side. I don't know if you can see the connector down here, but this is the left-hand headlamp connector, and this is where I'm going to plug the modulator into the left-hand side. And if you were in a climate that is wet, I'm guessing you would want to backfill these here with some silicone sealant or some waterproof sealant, and then maybe tape the whole thing up. But seeing as this bike probably gets wet twice a year, if that, I'm probably not going to bother. And here's the modulator. This goes onto the connector here. Noticeable is that the rubber grommet doesn't have enough clearance for the new connector, so you may have to make a slight cut in the center to allow it to move enough to fit the grommet on. So you can just see it in there now. You can see the green of the new connector on the back of the bulb, and you can just see the large waterproof grommet there now in place. And here it is on this side as well. So that's those two back on. Okay, we have it mounted. You can just see in here the zip tie holding the harness up out the way, and the last thing I'm going to do is mount the optical sensor just on this corner in here. So I need to drill a 5mm hole. There we go, job done. No skin left on your knuckles, but it's done. And we're going to fire it up and see what it looks like. So there it is, the headlamp modulator. And there it is on high beam. Yeah. So we'll see. I'm going to do a recording next time I'm on the way to work and see if I notice any difference of people moving out of my way and hopefully not cutting me off. This has been the installation of the Signal Dynamics back off headlight modulator. I got mine at Amazon. I'll put a link in the info below, but also available at Signal Dynamics. Yeah, so there you go. And we will see how it goes. Thanks for watching. Catch you next time.